We've got a lot of first-timers for the Paso Doble. We're going to start with the basics. We're going to learn a little bit about the dance, a little bit about the history of the dance, and the flavor of the dance, and work our way up through some basic fundamentals, and then perhaps a little bit of intermediate material, and then something really, really hard at the end. How about that? I think you'll all handle it just fine. So I want you to leave here tonight having at least enough Paso Doble material under your belt that you can get up and at least participate with some degree of comfortability. If they do play a Paso at your social dances, which maybe from this point on we'll get to learn. Yes? So, and maybe they'll play one for us tonight as well. That would be fantastic. So, gentlemen, in the Paso Doble, this is in the international curriculum. In the international curriculum, there are a lot of dances where the gentleman starts with his right foot. That's weird, right? So ladies, we're going to start with our left. Okay? So that's kind of the weirdest thing about the Paso Doble for those of you who have not done the Paso. So the first thing we're going to start with tonight is called surplace, which means in place, in translation, and we're basically going to mark the time of the music in place. So gentlemen, this is what it's going to look like for you. Starting with your right foot, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's pretty hard, isn't it? Okay, ladies, natural opposite. Starting with our left, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fantastic. Okay, notice how I'm using sort of a stabbing motion, right? It's not a march, it's not merengue, right? We've got kind of a very staccato, stabbing movement that we use to execute the surplace, okay? So, gentlemen, what foot do we start with?
Right.
Good, ladies?
Left.
Awesome. So we're going to do one surplace together now. Actually, we're going to do 2 counts of 8. So we'll count to 8 2 times. Gentlemen starting with left, gentlemen starting with your right, ladies with the left, and here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we've all got it. Okay? All right, now the surplace can travel forward and back, and when we do that, it becomes what we call our forward basic movement and our backward basic movement. Okay? So, when we do the Paso Doble, we want to stand up very tall, just like we do in all of our dances. Okay? But we also want to make sure that the rib cage is pitched very far forward. Okay? We're not going to focus a lot on technique tonight, but when we think about learning a new dance for the first time, you kind of at least want to know the flavor of the dance so you can make it not look like a merengue or other things that are similar, right? So gentlemen, when you watch a very advanced couple doing a Paso Doble, you're going to see the gentleman with the hips very far forward. In this dance, the gentleman portrays a matador. This dance depicts a bullfight. Okay, so the ladies, we portray a cape. Okay? So if you've ever watched a bullfight, the matador will keep the hips very far forward away from that cape because he doesn't want those horns anywhere near him, right? Okay, so when you see the actions being done of an advanced level Paso Doble, you'll see that that's one of the main characteristics of the way the gentleman holds his body is very pitched forward. Okay? So let's go ahead and travel that surplace forward and backward now. Ladies, we're going to go back. Gentlemen, you're going to come forward. And we're basically going to count to 8 moving in this direction, and we're going to count to 8 coming back in this direction. Okay? So let's try that. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job. Okay, it's preferable that we do not close the feet on 8. Okay? When you do that, it's just going to be very tempting to start with the wrong foot when you go back the other direction. So just keep traveling past the feet and then back the other direction. Let's try that one more time. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fantastic. We've got it. All right, we're going to do one more thing before we try some of this with a partner. And this is called a turning surplus. And we introduced this as a means of showcasing some of the shaping in the upper body that we see in the Paso Doble that really makes it look the look. And notice how I'm directing a lot of this at the gentlemen, ladies. The Paso Doble is really sort of the gentleman's dance, kind of like the tango. This is sort of their chance to show their machismo a little bit. It's a very, very masculine, dramatic dance. So a lot of the information is imparted to them when it comes to the matador-like traits of the dance. And later on, we're going to talk about the ladies being somewhat of a, if you've seen flamenco dancers, we often use a lot of the castanet type of hand movements, this and that. So our part, later on in the lesson, we'll talk about how we can use some of that influence to make our part look the look of the ladies' part. Okay, so turning surplus. Gentlemen, we all know what promenade is, right? Okay, so we're going to turn our head to the left. Okay? Now we're going to lower the left hand. Okay? Which we do in some other dances to lead promenade. But this is going to be a very exaggerated lowering, almost kind of a caricature of what you might do in another dance to lead promenade. So we're going to take the left hand in and down, and it's pretty much going to stay down toward the left hip, and I'm going to more or less try to look behind my left shoulder. Okay, and as I do my surplus now, this should cause me to turn to the left. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Ladies, we are going to have our right hand being lowered. Okay? That's going to cause us to look to our right.
I have a question.
Yes?
Are you lowering this at the start of 1, 2?
That's a terrific question. Because we're only stepping in place, it's a very gradual, doesn't really matter sort of thing. It can kind of happen as you're turning.
Okay.
That's a good question. We kind of match.
Melanie, that's my brother John.
Oh, nice to meet you. We didn't plan it, I swear. All right, so ladies, our right hand is coming down, and we are going to more or less take the weight of our head behind the right shoulder. Okay? And now we are also turning to the left, but starting with the left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. Okay. I think we got that, yeah? So ladies, we are more or less we're just following that. So we don't make that decision. You can also just turn to the left, gentlemen, without using that styling. This is just how I typically introduce the styling that we use a lot in the Paso and the promenade and counter promenade positions. But you could just do a surplus like this as well, a turning surplus, and that's totally fine. Okay? Now, going to the other direction, if we want to turn to the right. Okay? Gentlemen, we're going to take the left hand and we're going to pretty much put it straight up to the ceiling. That's dramatic, right? And we're going to look over our right shoulder. Okay? That's going to cause us to want to turn to the right. And that is called counter promenade position. Okay, we use that in our other dances as well. If I'm looking to the left, gentlemen, and moving to the left, that's promenade. This is counter promenade. All right? So, I'm going to take the left hand up to the ceiling, and I'm going to look to my right, and I'm going to turn to my right, starting on the right foot. That's a lot of right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've all done this before. That's fantastic. You got it. All right, ladies, counterpart of this. We're going to feel that right hand being lifted up to the ceiling. We're going to look over to our left, okay, but we are going to turn to the right. Yes? And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Anyone confused yet?
Is this all done on your toes? I noticed you're rising.
It is. Yes. So we'll get into some steps later where we can come down off the toes. But so far we've done a surplus in place, that is all toes, and then the turning surplus, all toes, forward and backward basic movement, all toes, ball of the foot. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. Regular surplus. Okay? Forward and backward basic movement. Okay, and then just follow me. I'm going to do the man's part with you guys. You guys are going to be doing the ladies' part. And we're going to turn to the left and then to the right. So gentlemen, just think, let your left hand is going to go down to turn to the left. It's going to go up to turn to the right. Yeah? All right, just follow me. Ladies, you're doing the natural opposite. Which foot are you going to start on? Thank you, gentlemen.
Right.
All right, here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fantastic. Good job. All right, one more time, and then we're going to try this with a partner with some music. Okay? Same thing. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and travel it forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and travel it back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Fantastic. All right, I think we're ready for partners and music. So we've got a nice ratio tonight. So just find someone right across from you to dance with. Wow, that couldn't have been any more perfect. All right, so we'll try it with music. 5, 6, here we go, surplus. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now travel it forward. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and travel back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and turn to your left. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and turn to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice job. Good job. You good with that? All right. So let's move into a little bit more of an intermediate pattern now. This is called the separation. Okay? So gentlemen, in order to do a separation, I have to first teach you what's called an appel. A-P-P-E-L. And it's basically a stomp. And we've all seen it. Okay? We've seen this in the Paso, Doble, right? So there's a correct way and an incorrect way of doing the appel. Okay? So what we don't want to do is lift the knee up and go like that on the floor. Because we're probably going to knee our partner. Then she'll give you a look. Okay. Exactly. That would not be fun. So we want to lift in back of our body. See, when we do our appel. Okay, same thing for us ladies. For you, it's going to be on your left, okay, because it's often used as the first step of a pattern, which of course is with your left. Gentlemen are right, yes? So, when you have the foot hitting the floor, in order that we have the look that we want from this, you want to try to have the whole surface of your foot hitting the floor at the same time, versus all flat or something, right? So just try to flex your foot enough that the whole surface of your shoe hits at the same time. And there we have an appel. It's a good thing we're on the first floor. Right? All right. So once again, this element is typically used as the first step of a pattern. And that's how we're going to use it tonight, as the first step of the separation. Okay? So gentlemen, stepping with the right into an appel for 1. Okay? And as you do that, for this particular pattern, I'm going to have you lower into your legs a little bit as we do that. So we're going to have 1. Okay? Now step forward for me on your left foot. And guess what? We get to step with our heel now for the first time. So we're going to step forward with the heel lead, gentlemen. 2. Okay? Now the remainder of the pattern for you is surplus. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the gentleman's part. Okay, one more time. Starting with the right, we have an appel on 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not hard, right? Okay, ladies, ours is a little bit different. Okay, we're going to appel with our left foot on 1. This is 1. Now we're going to step back 2 steps back on count 2 and count 3. Now we're going to close our feet on 4. Okay? And now for the remainder of the pattern, we're going to work our way back to the gentleman. 5, 6, 7, 8. Very small steps because we're not going to be that far from him. But we'll talk about the lead here in a second. On those first 4 steps, he is sort of pushing you away and we are separating. And so we have the 5, 6, 7, 8 to come back together. It's a very dramatic, matador-like looking step. Okay? So once again, ladies, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Very nice. I'm going to borrow my handy-dandy demonstrating partner here, Heather. Everyone meet Heather. Hi, lovely. So I'm going to show you, gentlemen, what I'm going to do to initiate this separation. During my appel, I'm going to lower the hand like I'm just sliding it down on a wall, basically. Okay? Then as I step toward her, I'm just kind of using that hand to extend it and establish space. What you don't want to do is start pushing right away on the appel because she's trying to close her feet in it. And she'll do that. Okay? So we've got appel, 1, that's lowering. Now push her away, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have her back. They might leave, but they always come back. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, questions on that? You want to try it with a partner? Think we're good? Let's give it a shot. Are we all good? All right, so let's kind of just get the hang of this lead first, gentlemen. Let's just play with this hand coming down, get the feel for that, and then gently moving it toward the lady. Does that make sense? Obviously, you have to let go with your right hand so she can effectively establish that distance, and then she'll make her way back to you. Ready to get it more time? Remember, gentlemen, you're essentially taking 1 stride forward, but ladies, we're taking 2 strides back. Keep that in mind. Okay? Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Okay, much better. One more time. Same partner. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice job. I'd like for you to move down one to your right, please. Yes, please. The ladies also do the appel, but it'll be on their left. Yeah. And then afterwards, remember ladies, we've got 2 steps to do to his 1 that will cause us to establish that space, right? Okay, same thing, one more time before we try music. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice job. I tell you what, before we switch partners, let's try this. Let's see what happens if we try that after something. I think we should try to do a turning surplus to the left, then to the right, and then this separation. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going right into the separation. Okay, so don't let that lapel catch you by surprise. Everyone ready?